in the issue of issue 8, the violence against women. Now, we have a very extensive Domestic Violence Act, and the Domestic Violence Act deals a lot with issues, especially where women are concerned, because they are the most ones who would normally come forward and make complaints where domestic violence are concerned. And the police department, we have domestic violence unit established at every main station in our country to be able to address domestic violence issues. And we, in the police department, have also taken a serious look at how we deal with our own members who are engaged in domestic violence situation. So much so that we recently amended the Police Act, and we have listed domestic violence situations as a major disciplinary infraction. So where a police officer is accused of being involved in domestic violence situation, that officer is immediately placed on interdiction, and whenever the investigation is done, then he is either brought back to work or continuing interdiction, depending on whether or not there was evidence to charge him. If the investigation yields that it was indeed true, he was involved in domestic violence situation, then he would be charged either criminally or disciplinary or both. And if convicted in a court of law or in tribunal, he can face up to a dismissal, depending on the nature of the domestic violence situation. As it relates to dealing with it in a public domain, the greatest challenge we have with that is the fact that, for the most part, the complainants, who are the women, would be very reluctant to pursue court proceedings against their spouse. The reluctance can come probably due to financial situation, because in most cases you'll find that the women are not working, they're unemployed in some cases, and so they are dependent on the man who is the breadwinner of the home. And so if he is taken to court and eventually to jail, that will have some financial impact on the home. One of the other issues in terms of them being reluctant is the fact that the issue, they would say that they're in love still, and why take the person you're in love with to court? That might cause the relationship to go a different direction. And when we do have instances where persons are arrested and taken before the courts, again, you'd find that in the heat of the moment, the woman would say, I want court action, but a week down the road when she and the man reconcile, she would normally come back and say, well, I want the matter to be withdrawn. And by virtue of how our laws are structured, in order for us to have a successful prosecution, the court need to hear the evidence of the virtual complainant or the victim in order to determine the guilt or innocence of the accused person. So in the absence of a complainant, then we cannot successfully prosecute the matter. Hence, you would find that majority of the cases are withdrawn before going to trial.